Hello everybody, Inter Interi back again with another video to preview this semi-final that we have ahead of us tomorrow between Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer, the two big icons of the tennis who will face each other for the sixth time in French Open. They will be in the first match up in Paris, and then later after those two have finished their semi-finals, Novak Djokovic will take on Dominic Thiem. I'm going to preview these two semifinals. What do I believe will happen? Who I do believe will win the matches and face then each other on Sunday in the French Open final. The quarterfinals, guys, just to speak a little about the quarterfinals, they were pretty straightforward victories for most of the players. They were actually pretty easy to predict, not only for me, but I believe for most of the tennis people around the world. We all knew that Rafa Nadal would not have any troubles against Kei Nishikori. Kei Nishikori, he's part of the lost generation player, together with Dimitrov and Raonic. And in my opinion, maybe Kei Nishikori is even a bigger loser than Dimitrov in that lost generation, because Kei Nishikori is that kind of player who most times goes to those fourth round and quarterfinals in slams, but always loses against Rafa, Djokovic or Federer. Only time I've seen Kei Nishikori defeating one of these three in the big stages, it is Novak Djokovic in US Open 2014 in that semi-final, when Kei Nishikori played his first and only Grand Slam final and lost to Marin Cilic. So Dimitrov, to me, he's of course also a lost generation player, but not a bigger loser than Nishikori. Dimitrov has two semi-finals appearances in Grand Slams, one in 2014 in Wimbledon and one in 2017 Australian Open. The 2014 in Wimbledon he lost to Djokovic, and the 2017 in Australian Open he lost to Nadal, but he did lose with dignity. He didn't lose like Nishikori lost against Nadal a couple of days ago. That's what I mean. Dimitrov almost beat Nadal in that Australian Open semi-final 2017. He took Nadal to a fifth set, and against Djokovic in 2014 Wimbledon semi-finals, he lost a close battle as well, in my opinion. It was 4 sets battle, but the fourth set I believe was a tiebreak, something like that. So no, the match between Rafa Nadal and Nishikori was a very easy match to predict. The same thing with Zverev and Djokovic. Some people thought maybe that Zverev will threat Djokovic. No, absolutely not. I was not one of them. I actually thought that Djokovic will defeat Zverev in straight sets, which he did. To be quite honest, I was a little surprised that Zverev took himself to that quarterfinals to begin with. Zverev has not looked super amazing this year, even though he won a tournament before this French Open tournament started. He won a small tournament in Switzerland, in Geneva, I believe. But come on, guys, we all knew that Zverev doesn't have the level to defeat Novak Djokovic in a Grand Slam match. Let's face it. He has to improve that second serve, guys. All those double faults, they can work against Milman, they can work against Lajovic, but they will never work against Djokovic. He will punish you, guys, which he did. 3 straight sets victory for Djokovic, 7-5, 6-2, 6-2. Zverev doesn't have the level to defeat these big guys on the big stages yet. He has defeated them on small stages, in Masters and things like that, but not on the big stages, guys. Zverev has to improve that second serve. He has to. You cannot beat players like Djokovic by doing 8, 9 or 10 double faults like he did in today's match. Come on, guys. You can defeat Milman and you can defeat Lajovic with that amount of double faults, but not Djokovic. Come on, guys. The world number 1, the 15-time Grand Slam champion. And Zverev, he was convinced about that today, if he was not that earlier. Straight sets victory for Djokovic, was not surprised there. And Thiem as well. I knew the Thiem would not have any big troubles against Karen Khachanov. All respect to Karen Khachanov, guys, but Thiem is not any Del Potro. He defeated Del Potro in the 4th round, but I knew that he will not stand a chance against a heavy striker like Dominic Thiem, who has so much firepower from both of his wings. So that was also easy to predict that match. The only match that I was not 100% sure in my prediction, to be quite honest, and I even did a video about that a couple of days ago, was the Stan Wawrinka and Roger Federer match. I had Federer as my pick for the winner, but I was not 100% sure, like I was in these three matches that I mentioned. But I had Federer as my favorite to defeat Stan Wawrinka, which he did, but I was not 100% sure about that prediction. Alright guys, let's go on to the semifinals and what I do believe about these two matches. We're gonna start with the first semifinal that are gonna be played tomorrow between Roger Federer and Rafa Nadal. What can we say about this matchup, guys? This is not a wonderful matchup for Roger Federer, especially not in French Open. They have faced each other 5 times, like you all know, in French Open before, and Federer has lost all of them. He has not even took Rafa Nadal to a 5th set. He has lost all of his matches. It is 5-0 for Rafa Nadal in that head-to-head in French Open, and 4 of them has been in 4 sets, and only 1 time Rafa has defeated Federer in straight sets in a demolishing way, and that was the 2008 French Open final. I don't think that Rafa will defeat Roger Federer in that kind of way this time, in a demolishing way. Of course it can happen. It is Rafa Nadal we're talking about, the greatest clay court player of all time, without any shadow of doubt. But I don't think that Rafa will destroy Federer that kind of way like he did in that 2008 French Open final. I think that Federer will take his teeth into the match in somehow, because I think that Federer's only chance, I am not even Federer, but if I was Federer, and Federer is not a stupid guy, he will realize this, and even his team will realize this as well. Federer will not try to Federer will not try to beat Rafa Nadal from the baseline, because if he tries to do that, he will not even take 1 set. I am pretty sure that everybody realizes this. Federer, Ljubicic, me, you guys as well, the whole world realizes this. Federer doesn't stand a chance to beat Rafa Nadal from the baseline. And Federer will not try to do that, like he has tried to do on the 5 occasions when he has lost to Rafa Nadal in French Open. He has tried to defeat Rafa Nadal with clay court tennis. Rafa Nadal is a much better clay court player than Roger Federer. Not only better than Roger Federer, but better than all the players in the history, guys. So Roger Federer will try to play a hard court match on clay. That's my feeling. It is the only way for Roger to be successful against Rafa Nadal, and he knows it. He will try to mix it up. He will try to approach the net, even though Rafa Nadal is one of the best passing shots player in the world and of all time, in my opinion. So Roger Federer will get past. Rafa Nadal will do a lot of passing shots through Roger Federer at the net, but Roger Federer will continue to go forward because it is the only way. And when Rafa Nadal will be maybe sometimes short on the court, Roger Federer will pull the trigger, because he knows that when Roger Federer gets a little opportunity to go for the trigger, he will take it, I believe. I don't think Roger Federer will slice so much, only when he gets to save a point. Yes, he will slice when he's in a rally to save the point in his defensive positions, but I don't think that Roger will slice a lot, especially not on the when Rafa is serving, because he knows that the slices works against everybody in the world, but not against Rafa Nadal. Rafa Nadal he kills Roger Federer's slices, and Roger Federer is aware of this. So I think Roger Federer will go to that match with a totally different mindset. He will approach the net, he will chip and charge, he will try drop shots, because Rafa Nadal, he stands pretty back on the court. He will try everything that he has on his repertoire to make Rafa Nadal uncomfortable. This is Roger Federer's only chance to make this match even, to make this match close. And I think he can make this match close to some extent. I don't think that this kind of tennis play will make Roger Federer cross that enormous, difficult finish line against Rafa Nadal in French Open in 5 sets. I just can't see Roger Federer doing it. Roger Federer will play a very, very high-risk tennis tomorrow. I'm totally convinced about that. And to play a high-risk tennis usually doesn't work in the until the finish line. It usually doesn't work because Roger Federer will leak a lot of unforced errors. He will leak a lot of unforced errors because Rafa Nadal will make him will force him to do that, because Roger Federer will play ultra aggressive tennis that the chances to leak a lot of unforced errors are very, very high. So, but I think Roger Federer can take 1 set with this kind of play. With hard court tennis on clay, he will take 1 set. That's what I think, like he has done in the past. In 4 occasions in Paris. So, but I don't think that Roger Federer will be able to win 3 sets against Rafa Nadal. I just can't see that happening. Hope I'm wrong. I'm a big Roger Federer fan. It would be wonderful if Roger Federer proves me wrong. Hope I'm wrong. That is my prediction. I think Rafa wins this one in 4 sets. The head-to-head between Roger Federer and Rafa Nadal is 23-15 for Rafa Nadal. On clay it is 13-2 to Rafa Nadal. In French Open it is 5-0 to Rafa Nadal. So apparently, clearly, this is not a wonderful matchup for Roger Federer. Hope Roger Federer proves me wrong, but unfortunately I don't think that he will. Rafa wins his semi-final clash against Roger Federer in 4 sets. That is my prediction. All right, we go over to the other semi-final match between Novak Djokovic and Dominic Thiem, and this one, guys, is for me more harder to predict. To be quite honest, this is more harder for me to predict, guys. It is not like Roger Federer and Rafa Nadal match, because that is a little more easier for me to predict, to be quite honest, because Rafa Nadal is the overwhelming favorite in that match, in my opinion. If Roger beats Rafa Nadal, it will be a big upset. I will be hugely shocked. I can see Roger taking 1 set as most, not more. But in this other matchup, I have Novak Djokovic as my slight favorite. But that is pretty it, guys. As a slight favorite, not more. I even already, when I saw the draw almost 2 weeks ago, I immediately knew that Novak Djokovic big test will come in the semi-final, because I knew that Novak Djokovic will go to that semi-final. I saw his draw, and nobody on his way had the power, had the skills, had the consistency, had the strokes to defeat him, besides 1 player, and that was Dominic Thiem in the semi-final. Dominic Thiem, he is not the most consistent tennis player in the world, I know, but he has taken step by step over the years to be more consistent. Even this year, I have never seen the Dominic Thiem this consistent this year in entire his career, guys. He has won 2 titles. He won his first Masters title back in Indian Wells, defeated Roger Federer in that final on hard court, on a pretty slow hard court like Indian Wells is. And after Indian Wells, he went out pretty early in Miami, and after Miami he went out pretty early in Monte Carlo, and after Monte Carlo he won Barcelona, and after he won Barcelona, and he defeated Rafa Nadal in the semi-finals in straight sets. He won Barcelona without dropping 1 single set, so that was really impressive. And after Barcelona he went out pretty early after Barcelona after Miami he played in Monte Carlo. Yes, in Monte Carlo he went out pretty early. Yes, against Lajovic, I believe, in Monte Carlo. Lajovic went then to play the final against Fognini, and after Monte Carlo he went up. He won Barcelona. Yes, it was like that. Without dropping 1 single set, and like I said, defeated Rafa Nadal in that semi-final. And after Barcelona, he played the semi-finals in Madrid, yes, and was defeated by Novak Djokovic in a close battle, 7-6, 7-6 in 2 close tiebreaks. And after Madrid, he went out pretty early in Rome. So that is pretty much Dominic Thiem's level. He's not straightforward. He's not as deadly consistent as Roger, Novak, and Rafa. Who is it, by the way? Nobody. These three are the three greatest tennis players of all time. But Dominic Thiem he is being more and more consistent throughout the years. So that's why, and now here in Paris, he's in semifinals. His 4th straight semifinals appearance in French Open. And he will meet Novak Djokovic. The head-to-head between these two are 6-2 to Novak Djokovic, 3-2 in clay court matches, 1-1 in French Open matches. The first French Open match that they faced each other was back in 2016 in the semifinals, I believe, and Novak won that battle in straight sets. And the second French Open battle that they faced each other was in 2017. And in 2017, and Thiem won that match in straight sets. So now this is their 3rd clash in French Open. And Novak has looked really, really impressive in this tournament. He has raised up his level, like I've told you guys in my other videos. He's looking as impressive as he looked in Australian Open, maybe even more impressing, guys. He has not dropped one single set. Even though he was a little close of dropping his first set today against Alexander Zverev in that first set, when Zverev was serving for the set in the 10th game, I believe, but Zverev couldn't win that first set because he had a horrible second serve, guys. Zverev, so Dominic Thiem has a much better serve than Zverev. Especially a much better second serve, especially a much better kick serve. Dominic Thiem probably has the best kick serve I have ever seen on clay. On clay, that kick serve, guys, almost bounces high to the stands, guys, to the audience, to who was watching the matches. So Dominic Thiem will give Novak Djokovic a really tough battle, guys. He can even win this semi-final against Novak Djokovic. Novak Djokovic has not dropped one single set still in this tournament, and he has looked really committed. He has looked really focused. He has been super solid. But now comes his biggest challenge before that final. And I said I believe in a dream final between Rafa Nadal and Novak Djokovic, but the party spoiler can be Dominic Thiem. He can defeat Novak Djokovic tomorrow, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if he did that, guys. I really wouldn't. Dominic Thiem, he had some little troubles in his first couple of matches in the first and second round. He dropped some couple of sets, but since that Gael Monfils match in that 4th round, he has been really sharp, guys. He defeated Gael Monfils in straight sets, and he looked ruthless against Karen Khachanov in the quarterfinals, and defeated Karen Khachanov in straight sets, in convincingly straight sets, 6-2, 6-4, 6-2. So Novak Djokovic has a huge task ahead of him to face Dominic Thiem in this semi-final, and I am not sure who will win this battle, guys. To be quite honest, I am not sure. I want Novak Djokovic in the final. I have said it earlier. I think that Rafa's biggest challenge in that French Open final is Novak Djokovic, and not Dominic Thiem, even though the Dominic Thiem is one of the greatest clay court players in the world, together with Rafa Nadal. And even though the Dominic Thiem has defeated Rafa Nadal many times on clay outside French Open, 4 times, but I just don't trust in Dominic Thiem's consistency level against Rafa Nadal. We saw that last year. Even though the Dominic Thiem is the best player this year, in my opinion, Rafa Nadal just smoked Dominic Thiem in that French Open final in 2018 in straight sets. So I want Novak Djokovic to get to that French Open final, because I think that Novak Djokovic is a bigger threat to Rafa Nadal and what Dominic Thiem is. But I am not sure that Novak Djokovic will get to that French Open final, but I think he will. I am not sure, but I think that I give 55% chances to Novak Djokovic that he will win the match against Dominic Thiem, and 45 to Dominic Thiem. That is my feeling. That is what I believe, guys. I am not sure. I wouldn't be surprised at all if Dominic Thiem defeats Novak Djokovic, but because he's looking ruthless, he has that firepower from both wings, both from his forehand and his backhand. He has a great serve. He can handle Novak Djokovic from the baseline. He has everything, Dominic Thiem. The only problem with Dominic Thiem is that he can leak unforced errors at times, but he has improved that kind of stats as well. He's not leaking unforced errors like he used to do. Against Karen Khachanov, he made 24 winners, I believe, and only 11 unforced errors. So this is a huge challenge for Novak Djokovic. That's for sure. This is a huge challenge. I'm picking Novak Djokovic to win this match, but I'm not sure. I'm far from sure, guys. I am much sure about my pick between Rafa Nadal and Roger Federer. Rafa Nadal is 80% the favorite against Roger Federer, and Roger is 20% in my opinion. And in this match, I give Djokovic only 55% of my chances to win the match, and Dominic Thiem 45, guys. That is my feeling, guys. We will see. We will see what happens tomorrow. I think we will get a French Open final between Rafa Nadal and Novak Djokovic, but I'm far from sure that Djokovic will be Rafa's final opponent. It can be Dominic Thiem as well, but I will give my edge to Novak Djokovic. It just feels that Novak Djokovic he has raised his level. He looks locked in. He is playing really solid, even though that this semifinal will be his biggest test so far in these French Open tournaments. In 2019, but I just feel that Novak Djokovic is little more solid than Dominic Thiem. That's why I am giving my edge to Novak Djokovic, but I am far from sure, guys. I'm really far from sure. All right, guys, this is it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Take care and bye bye.